What's up, everybody? Welcome back to JB Breaks Free. I hope you're having a great day, a blessed day, getting 1% better than yesterday. I'm trying to do the same, finding some small wins that will compound over time and make our days, weeks, months, and years better and happier and more joyful and more content and free, of course, and breaking free, especially from debts. And we got to get our finances in order. One of the first books that influenced me when I started my journey towards financial independence and to become debt-free is the Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. I can see that we are twins today with this black shirt. I swear to God, I did not plan that out, but I think it's kind of cool, I guess, since we are both debt-free. And I wanted to go through chapter 1. I just highlighted a bunch of passages, and I kind of wanted to just say a few of them and kind of give some of my thoughts on them and just go through the book like this. And I would suggest picking it up. I do think it's a good read. I think it's entry level, especially for like the person who is deep, like in debt with no real understanding. I think this is a good entry level book, and to just start working on gaining control of your finances and paying down debt. And that's certainly where I was at the time. And just like with any book or anything in life, take what you want from it. And if there's parts you don't agree with, leave it and find something else that works for you. So these are just some of the things I highlighted. I didn't take everything from Dave Ramsey, all of his advice. I do some things better and maybe some things differently or some things worse. But it has helped me a lot. And the biggest thing I've taken from Dave Ramsey is with gazelle intensity to become debt-free as soon as humanly possible. And it's one of the most amazing feelings in the world. It feels better than I ever imagined. So I'm going to go through the first part that I'm going to highlight here. He says, there was a little boy inside of him who was afraid of this month's bills, afraid of this month's mortgage, terrified when he considered the future. How was he going to send his kids to college, enjoy life, and not live on the edge of money worries? And I feel like I was in that position too, a little bit afraid of the future. I knew I was a waiter, and I knew my restaurant could close at any time. I knew I had it really well, but at the snap of a finger, it could all be taken away from me, and I'd be left with really no money knowledge and in a lot of debt. He goes on to say, the normal American family. He goes, I had too much debt, too little savings, and no control over my life. The harder I worked, it seemed I couldn't win. I was forever to be a slave. And that's what we're trying to do, right? Break free from that slavery. Break free from the banker, the government, and the needs of his family. When his wife talked about money, they would always fight. He said he felt like a gerbil in a wheel. Run. No traction, no ground covered. Talk about getting off the hamster wheel, right? You're just doing the same thing, going to work and paying your bills, going to work and paying your bills. Where's the freedom? Where's the control over your life? And I kind of felt the same. It was a financial illusion, and I wanted to start gaining ground and making some traction. So he says, after losing everything, he went on a quest to find out how money really works, how you could get control of it, and how you could have confidence in handling it. And I lacked the confidence. Certainly, I remember thinking I was just a waiter. Waiters don't invest. I'd hear my boss talking about investing in stocks, and that's not for me. That's for business owners, and that's for the wealthy people. I was just going to work, taking my money home. I had no control of my life because I needed money. I couldn't say no. And I didn't know how to handle money or get control of it. He goes, I read everything I could get my hands on. I listened to numerous podcasts, read The Richest Man in Babylon, Total Money Makeover, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich, just dove deep into finances as best as I could. And he came to the really uncomfortable place, his mirror. I came to realize, he says, that my money problems, worries, and shortages largely began and ended with the person in the mirror. Okay, so that's the first realization. It's up to us. He could win at money, but it ended and started with the person in the mirror. So he says his big challenge. I have a challenge for you if you're ready to take on the guy or gal in the mirror. If you are, you're ready to win. I rediscovered God's and Grandma's simple way of handling money. Wealth building isn't rocket science, he says, which is a good thing for me and probably you. And I do think it can be simple. And that's why I really love The Simple Path to Wealth, which I think is another step after this book. Winning at money is 80% behavior and 20% head knowledge. What to do isn't the problem. Doing it is. Most of us know what to do and can't do it, right? With diet, with cigs, with smoking, with debt, with wasting time. We all know that it's not beneficial to us, but we still continue to do it, right? So we have to change our behavior. We have to change that man in the mirror. I had to change myself in the mirror. And he goes on to say, there are no secrets. He says this will be very hard. If it were easy, every moron walking would be wealthy. Now, is it hard? It's hard to face the facts, I think. It's hard to make that change. He says, you are the problem with your money. All winners must pay a price to win, and some losers pay a price and never win. So can you change the person in the mirror to get your finances under control? And that is something I had to do. And I had to also talk to my wife about it. And he says, I will teach you to say a few words, like the word no. That's certainly one thing that I've had to, the biggest thing I would say on my financial independence journey and debt-free journey is the word no. No to a lot of things. No to collecting stuff. No to expensive car pavements. No to having the latest and greatest car, the latest and greatest technology. No to having the biggest house in the world. No to having the newest gadgets. Saying no to going out and spending money on drinks and food all the time, even though we like to spend money on food. But you got to make certain sacrifices. And he says the Total Money Makeover motto is, if you live like no one else later, if you live like no one else today, later you can live like no one else. If you will live like no one else today, later you can live like no one else. This is the motto of Total Money Makeover. It's my way of reminding you that if you make sacrifices now that most people aren't willing to make later on, you'll be able to live as those folks will never be able to live. And I'm starting to taste a little bit of that now. I have more of my time is my own. I can take certain days off from work. The restaurant I worked at closed a day, and I'm paying for some of that time doing my own thing in the morning, and there's a lot less stress and worried about it. He says, some of you are so immature that you're unwilling to delay pleasure for a greater result. I will show you exactly how to get the results you want, so the price you pay will not be in vain. I do not want to walk across hot coals because it's fun, but if I can be shown how a short, painful walk will do away with a lifetime of worry, frustration, stress, and fear that being constantly broke brings me, then bring on the hot coals. I love that paragraph. It's all about delayed gratification, right? We have to be disciplined. We have to be master of ourselves. We have to break free from the instant gratification and break free. And if we do that, we can break free from worry, frustration, stress, and fear. Those things in my life as a waiter and as someone who delivers groceries in the mornings and a wife as a teacher have gone down dramatically. No one is ever going to have a life free from worry and frustration and stress and fear. But with the principles applied in this book and mental principles also, like philosophy and stoicism that can help us be aware, mental awareness, and can help us worry about things that we only can control, our stress, worry, fear, anxiety, frustration can all really, really decrease, and that will increase us to have a much better life. There was a story then placed in the book by a woman named Carrie who says she was $375,000 in debt, and with Dave's plan, she went with gazelle intensity to get rid of our debt. And that's something that I could totally relate to. We went just about as hard as you possibly could go at debt. We attacked our credit cards with the snowball debt method, which is we had 7 credit card debts. We paid off the smallest, and we rolled that into the next, into the next, into the next, and eventually shrunk down the credit card payments. And when we took care of the car payments, and then we took care of the mortgage and the school loans, and with gazelle intensity to get to the point to become completely debt-free, and it feels amazing. She goes on to say in her life example, the first few months were the most painful as we went from credit to cash. But it's so nice not having to pay for today and yesterday anymore. By following Dave's Total Money Makeover plan, you will gain peace of mind as you get control over your money. Just stay focused. For me, it wasn't painful the first few months. It was excitement. It was excitement that my wife and I could be on the same page. It was excitement. It gave us hope for the future, that we could gain control of our lives and break free from debts and excessive spending and consumerism and stress, worry, frustration, fear, as he talked about. And the moment we got on the same page together, we became an unstoppable force, and we could start building our wealth and gaining our freedom. And peace of mind certainly came with that. And she goes on to say, the key to success was getting on the same page at the same time, and to stay focused. Stay focused. It's going to take a few years probably, depending on how much debt you are in. And it did take us a few years. And staying focused, I do think, is key after the initial excitement of starting any journey, right? And we did stay focused, and we just chipped away. She goes on to say, our advice, honestly assess your earning capacity and live below your means. Be in control of your own destiny and your own happiness. Be in control. Break free from the things that are controlling you, specifically your debt, worry, frustration, fear, anxiety. It all can be broken free from. Not completely. No one's going to live that perfect life, but gaining control of your finances will lead you to a great life. Dave goes on to say, my promise to you, the system will not work unless you do. And how well it will work will be up to the intensity that you put into it, and we put everything we had to it. Your situation isn't your spouse's fault, he says. Well, let's talk about that later. And we did have close to $30,000 of consumer debt that I did not know about. He says it's not your children's fault, it's not your friend's fault, it's your fault. And I think I was smart enough, after a little twinge of madness, when I found that out, I was extremely calm. My wife was crying when she told me that. And I would always wonder how, as a waiter, I was saving more money than her, how she had zero left after the bills. And I didn't take the time to immerse myself in our family's finances, and we paid a price for that. Maybe because of fear, maybe because of laziness, maybe because of worry and frustration. But the second that we got on the same page, we became an unstoppable force concerning debt. And we threw everything we had at it. And I helped her erase a lot of her debt. And we joined our finances. And we became a much, much more stronger and powerful unit financially. But he says, guess what? That means if you're the one who got you into this mess, you're the one that can get you out of it. This is your life, your call, your future. It's 100% your decision. No one's going to stop you from doing this. It's up to you, and no one's going to do it for you. And that's basically the lesson of Chapter 1, Total Money Makeover. Look at the person in the mirror and make those changes. Put on a black t-shirt and get to work. Break free.